Thank you. One of our colleagues, I think, who's not present today, may have, in an apparent attempt to really defend the disgraceful reaction to this Khashoggi murder, have hit a central truth when he said, quote, "Many countries murder journalists." And when those murders or torture or imprisonment are ignored, whether they're directed by a supposed ally or an obvious adversary, whether by a crown prince or the Kremlin or the Burmese military or an Ayatollah or an Egyptian dictator or some tyrant who purports to be a left-winger or any other third-rate thug, each time our government turns its face away and ignores and offers excuses and claims that pragmatism is more important than freedom of expression, the world becomes a little less safe for journalists, and indeed it becomes a little less safe for the rest of us who rely on their insight and who share an unusual preference, those of us who share that preference, to live in a world that is fact-based, even though that seems to be going out of vogue in some quarters. When a House colleague has been lauded for assaulting a journalist on our own soil, the special urgency of this moment literally strikes home. Today, those of us who really only know Jamal Khashoggi through his courageous writing, we join in his name to remember all those journalists who are suffering now, whose only crime is to shed light where there is otherwise only darkness and propaganda. Let's never forget that this one murder, nor the perpetrators who continue at this very moment to continue killing innocents in Yemen. I want to thank you, Larry, and all of the others who encouraged this memorial. I believe that our lasting memorial to Khashoggi and all of those who risk their own personal safety and liberty to report the truth must be for us to never let their suffering go unnoticed and to reject rewards for those who repress them, regardless of whether they're friend or foe. And because we understand that the freedom of the press is not a frill that we can sacrifice, but it is a value that is fundamental to both our security and our personal liberty. Thank you.